everyone, Mitch coming in for the Commander's Core studio. Welcome to the show. So on today's episode, I've got a fun one for you. Well, I'm going to be talking about the most annoying commanders to play against, but these ones are so fun to play. Let's jump into them. Now, I'm going to be starting off with one that is near and dear to my heart. Cody, Vociferous Codex. Who knew a talking book would be annoying, I guess. I guess the character looks like it would be pretty annoying, but actually, the commander can be pretty annoying. Even though I love Cody, and I've actually built 2 decks around Cody, let's talk about it. A 1/4 construct for 3 mana. You can't cast permanent spells. I mean, that's supposedly annoying for the player who has it, right? Not so much. Pay 4, tap, add Wooburg. When you cast your next spell this turn, exile from the top of your library to exile an instant or sorcery card with lesser mana value. Until end of turn, you can cast that card for free, basically, and every other card goes to the bottom of your library in random order. Basically, it is a kind of weird version of Cascade that only hits instants and sorceries, so yeah, it is a commander where you can build it, number one, I would point out, in some pretty obnoxious ways, which can be annoying, and I always ask ahead of time if I am playing my Cody deck, and I specify which one it is, because I've got my Hypergenesis Cody deck, which can definitely turn a game on its head and be quite annoying to some players, so yeah, you ask ahead of time, but also just the process of doing this, it can be pretty taxing on opponents, especially when it is every turn, or even multiple times in a turn if you untap and retap. Basically just revealing off the top of your library until you hit something, especially again for that Hypergenesis type deck where you only have basically one card you can potentially ever hit, and then you're like, alright, 80 cards in now, still haven't hit it, or 81, 82, 83, oh wow, who knew it was on the bottom the whole time? Even if not, even if you just say have 20 instant sorceries in your deck, it can still take a long time to hit, and that can be very taxing on opponents to just kind of wait for you again. You're like, oh, okay, cool. All right, you did the thing. All right. And they're like, wait. I'm untapping Cody and I'm doing it again. Oh my gosh, are you kidding? So yeah, this can definitely be a commander that I love playing. It's so much fun playing, but I make sure I ask every single time I'm playing it because it can be annoying. Onward and upward we go because Cody does not fly. That would be just ridiculous. A talking flying book. But we've got a wall, which kind of, I've never really considered this, but it doesn't even look like a wall. I don't know. It looks like an LED projection. I don't know. Anyways, a 1/5 wall flying defender for 3 mana in Jeskai. As it enters the battlefield, choose left or right. Each player may attack only the nearest opponent in the chosen direction. Planeswalkers controlled by that opponent. Here's just a weird, actually, just physical question. Okay, so this wall can fly, right? So if it's blocking something while it's flying, does it fly up in the air? And it's like, okay, now it's not blocking the ground, but then it flies back down and hits the ground to block the... Anyways, that's not the annoying part. The annoying part is you are changing a core rule of the game. Again, in a multiplayer format, you can attack whoever you want. But not with this commander. With this commander, it says, you know what? No. We're going in this direction. And once players get used to that direction, then you get really annoying. You're like, well, that's not beneficial to me anymore because the player on my right is really powerful now. And I want to turn this around. So everyone let's attack left, because then you blink the commander and then you reset it. So yeah, this can definitely be an obnoxious commander, an annoying commander, but it is so much fun to be able to control the game in this way. You feel like you have so much power. And if you're playing my equivalent exchange version of the deck, which is pretty gross and disgusting and basically just works on swapping creatures with opponents and then taking them back with blinking, so it's kind of more stealing instead of equivalent exchange. Full Metal Alchemist fans, anyone? But yeah, this commander can definitely be obnoxious for multiple reasons. Most definitely, though, because you're changing a rule of the game, and you keep changing it. Okay, again, obnoxious for a different reason in a different way, but still a lot of fun to play. Selfbala Explore returned. A 2/4 Elf Scout for 3 mana in Selesnya. Parlay, tap. Each player reveals the top card of their library. For each non-land card revealed this way, you add green, and you gain 1 life. Then each player draws a card. Okay, so here's the thing about this commander. Group huggy type commanders can rub some players the wrong way, and they can be very fun to play. They can also be very annoying to play against if you're not in the mood for group hug, because this commander does benefit everyone. And if it is built like true full group hug, like not trying to win the game, that can just be a bit obnoxious because you kind of have it's kind of like a 1v1v1, and the other player's just doing miscellaneous things and making the game go quicker for everyone. So, or helping out the player who's in first, which they shouldn't be doing. But this one just does help everyone, essentially, by having them draw cards. That being said, that version of the deck can be annoying. The other version of the deck can also be annoying, too, where it's I'm doing Selesnya Storm, basically, by just, tap, draw, a 1-mana green spell that untaps this commander or untaps my entire team. Yeah, because there are those too. Okay, cool. Cast that. All right, gain a life, draw a card. Oh, I drew another card that does it. Okay, cool. I do that. And even if you're drawing into, white cards too that untap your entire team, which there are a ton of them, yeah, you probably have Mandorks as well that you're like, oh yeah, those Mandorks are tapping for mana too. So you're just like adding mana. You're storming off with this. You also have recursion spells in these colors. So you're like, okay, tap, draw, tap, draw, tap, draw, tap, draw, tap, draw, tap, draw, mana, 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 mana. It can be obnoxious to play against a Storm deck, especially when you're not expecting it maybe against this kind of a commander. But yeah, either Group Hug version or like Storm Selesnya version, which is kind of sweet, which also can just unexpectedly give one opponent, though, an absurd card advantage. I mean, all the opponent's card advantage, right? But if one has like mana open and that does some crazy things with it, yeah, you can kind of rub the table the wrong way. Things are just heating up in one that is known to be salt-inducing, and that is different, I would say, than annoying in a way. Like, this is salty because, well, it's one of the most powerful and popular commanders of all time. It is a 1/3 human ninja for 3 mana, Cody Tiger Shadow in Dimir. It says Commander Ninjutsu, which is a completely made-up term that does not, apply anywhere else, basically, right? This is, I believe, only on Yuriko the Tiger Shadow and should forever stay not used on any other commander. Because basically, you're never paying the 3 mana for this commander. In fact, you're never paying commander tax on this commander. You're just paying 2. You're always just paying 2 because you just bring it into play for an unblocked attacker, and then you swap it out, and all of a sudden, your commander's back in play. Whenever an energy control deals combat with your player, reveal the card, top card of your library, put it in your hand, each opponent loses life, the card's mana value. Basically, I have got big spells in my deck that probably don't even cost what they actually cost because they're like split cards too, or they have reductions on them. So yeah, being able to just do that and be able to go, oh, okay, cool, I drain everyone for 10 on turn 2. Okay. Oh, you dealt with my commander? Okay, cool, alright. Next turn, I bring it back out for 2 mana. Haha. Yeah, because it's a commander that literally can never be fully dealt with, pretty much. Like, there's no putting this player in the ground. There is no just saying, like, you can't get your commander back out. Yuriko is always an option to get back out because 2 mana is always affordable. You never have to pay commander tax, and that can be annoying to players that are playing against it, I should say. Get ready for what's coming next because this is one of my favorite commanders of all time. One of my first, 40 decks on the channel, 20 decks on the channel. It is one that has lasted for a long time for me. I love Belgrip. Belgrip is amazing. That being said, it can definitely be annoying. And my version isn't even Group Hug, all right? Group Hug, again, can rub some players the wrong way. My version, I like to call it more political control, where you're actually trying to win the game, instead of just Group Hug, where you're just like, hey, everyone gets things. Are you going to do anything with that? No, everyone just gets things. Okay, cool. 4/4 Legend, which I believe is just a Belgrip for 4 mana in Bant. Pay a white, flying until left turn, target opponent gains 2 life. Pay a blue, bounce it back to its hand, target opponent may draw a card. Trample until left turn, give someone a hippo. It's a 1/1 green hippo. Here's the thing. How could you ever think that this thing would be annoying? Well, it can be, because you again, are... Again, if you're going Group Hug, again, that can rub players the wrong way, but even if you're not, you are influencing the game in a different way, in a weird way. The strategy for this, with my deck at least, is, okay, you make buddies with one other player pretty quickly, and you say, I will grant you every single hippo you could ever want. You can take all the hippos in the world, and they're all yours. For the time being, contract details required, sign here. But basically being like, hey, okay, you get all these hippos. You're helping me out with things, I'm helping you out with things, and again, like, an opponent's going to be attacking you. Oh, don't waste your actual creatures on that block. Here, have some hippos to throw in front of, the fire, essentially, right? But also, I'll give you some hippos, and you're forced to attack with them, all right? Like, I'll make that deal. You have to attack with these hippos with someone else, because I've got some cards that benefit me when you attack with them. Cool. You're basically kind of turning the game into, like, an automatic 2v2 in a way, if the other two players agree to play against. So you're kind of, like, automatically forcing the game to be two-headed giant in a way, and then you stab the player in the back at the end once you're winning. So, yeah, this is a commander where you could definitely rub players the wrong way because, again, you change the dynamics of the table. Just inherently with what this commander does, you are incentivized to make a friend, and just one friend, and be really good friends with them until you betray them at the end. So, yeah, definitely a commander that can be annoying, but I still love it. I love you, Feldergriff. Okay, maybe this entire episode just an exercise of me looking at some of my favorite decks over the time, be like, maybe that is a little annoying. Hoffrey Ghostforge, I love this commander, and it's adorable how Wizards initially wrote the commander because they immediately had to Oracle text change it because they maybe didn't think about how players would actually use it. A 4/5 Dwarf Cleric for 5 mana in Boros. Spirit you control, get +1/+1, have trample and haste. Whenever the creature you control dies, exile it. If you do, create a token's copy of that creature except the spirit when addition to other types, and it has. When this creature leaves the battlefield, return the exile card to your graveyard. Yeah, Wizards, it's not your graveyard. It's, the player's graveyard, basically, who has that creature. Because, here's the thing. It's its owner's graveyard. Because, threat and effects exist, and I'm gonna steal your creatures and sacrifice them. That's basically what you're doing with this commander. You are literally just going, hey, you know what I want to do? I don't want to, my own creatures in play, sure, I'll get my own creatures in play. But I just want to threaten an opponent's creature, like those 3 mana gain control of a creature temporarily. I get it, and then I've got some kind of a free sacrifice outlet. Goblin Bombardment, Martyr's Cause, etc., etc., etc. Being able to go, hey, I sacrifice you. All right, now I get a token copy of you that's slightly bigger and tramply and hastier. And whatever ETB you have, great. Whatever abilities you have, great. They're mine. And the opponent just lost their creature. It's like removal spell plus, copy spell all at the same time. Which, again, is effective. Definitely a cool strategy. I love it, and it's great. But your opponents might be a little bit jealous when you just constantly are removing their creatures and then utilizing a copy clone version of their creature against them that is more powerful. So yeah, it is definitely one, and then populating that again and again and again. So yeah, it's definitely one that can rub players the wrong way in a way. You kind of got to ask ahead of time with this one, in my opinion as well, where it's like, hey, is everyone okay if I play this Steely clone kill deck? And they're like, maybe, sure, okay, fine. And they play it once, they're like, never again. Hoffrey goes Forge. Okay, really quick about this one. Jod The Unifier is a very popular commander for a reason. No offense to Jod The Unifier, but OG Joda, so much better in my opinion. I love that Joda. This is a cool Joda too, but it is one that can be absolutely obnoxious and annoying for multiple reasons. Number one, it's quite powerful. 5/5 human wizard for 5 mana. Wooburg, the best color combination, all the colors. Legendary creatures you control get +X for X number of legendary creatures you control. Whenever you cast a legendary spell from your hand, exile cards to the top of your library to exile a legendary non-mana card with lesser mana value. You may cast the card without paying its mana cost with the rest of your library in a random order. Here's the thing about the Joda. Yeah, this is, again, number one, very powerful. It literally just needed, one of those 2 lines of text thing, and it got both. So it's like, pump the creatures a ton, and also free spells. Especially the free spells one is insane. But yeah, again, like I mentioned with Cody, anytime you're basically like, okay, reveal until you hit. If you've got that on repeat with a commander, if you've got a commander that can do that quite a bit, which of course this one can, it's, again, whenever you're casting any legendary spell for your hand, that's going to happen a lot in a legendary tribal deck. So you just keep doing that again, and again, and again, and again. And all of a sudden, you're just, spending way too much time revealing cards off the top of your library, hoping to hit. So it's like, wow, again, it's been 20 cards. Can't believe I've hit this many lanes and no legends. Oh my goodness. And everyone's just like, can we wrap this up, please? You're beating us really badly with this giant commander, that you're pumping everything massively, and you're taking forever to get your things off the top. That's just one thing where, in person, the cascading type effects, takes so much longer. Tutoring effects as well. We'll get to that here in a little bit. It takes so much longer in person. So when you have commanders that do them on repeat, it can be so much more annoying than, if you were playing, say, MTG Arena, where it's just, instantaneous. It just does the thing. So, yeah, it can be a bit taxing with this kind of a commander. Melir Vig is next, and I don't this is just looks holding with this art version, just holding out that little whatever that is, and just being like, I am observing you, but also about to maybe stab you with this little knife thing that I have. I don't know. Anyways, it's interesting, but also it's quite annoying in a way, because I kind of just referenced that repeat cascading-ish effects can be annoying, but also repeat tutoring effects, especially annoying, especially when you have someone piloting the deck that's like, oh, this is my first time playing it, which is fine and fair, right? Everyone's got their first time playing a deck. But even if you've got someone who's an experienced player of a deck, they can definitely still take times in certain situations. Again, in a crucial situation later in the game, it's like, I need to find the perfect card to save me the situation. It's like, maybe you don't even have it in your deck, but you are literally just searching so much. I should probably say what this commander says instead of commenting the art and then commenting about how it can be annoying. A 2/2 elf wizard for 5 mana in Simic. Whenever you cast a green creature spell, you search your library for a creature card, reveal it. If you do, shelf your library, put the card on top of it. Whenever you cast a blue creature spell, reveal the top card of your library. If it's a creature card, put that card in your hand. I will tell you that second part is not the annoying part. The annoying part is that first part where literally, again, anytime you cast a green creature spell, which the vast majority of cards in this deck are probably going to be green, the creatures, because that tutoring effect is insane. You probably have a lot of Simic creatures, so you can get both. You get the card draw with, it's kind of like just tutoring directly to your hand in a way. But basically, you're just like, okay, I cast. All right, now I can search for any creature in my library. All right, I've got 40 creatures or whatever. Okay, cool. let me look through all of those, figure out which one I want, and then put on top of my library. By the way, I'm also then going to draw that card, and then I'm going to cast another green creature spell, and then do that again, and then another one, and then do that again. Yeah, again, repeat tutoring can definitely be pretty obnoxious. I almost kind of put like Sisay Weatherlight Captain in here as well. Like, again, like any kind of a commander that's just like, hey, repeat tutor. Yeah, that can be very time consuming. You can very much monopolize the, time of play on the table, and players can get a little bit irritated when they're just like waiting around for you to do the same thing. Again, when you should probably be able to make that decision. Even if you make a subpar decision, make it in half the time than you would make like the optimal decision. Like, wait, I definitely have a situational card for this. Let me find the perfect creature. It's Terastodon. Yeah, wait, no, that costs too much on this turn. Okay, never mind. I miscounted my mana. I'm so sorry. All right, let me find something slightly smaller. Acidic Slime. Okay. All right, buckle up for this next one because, yes, send triplets is just fun to play. It is not fun to play against. It is a very obnoxious commander. I mean, like, one of the most obnoxious commanders, never going to be off the salt scale. It will not be. Send triplets is a 3/3 human wizard for 5 mana in Esper, and it is a monster. At the beginning of your upkeep, choose target opponent. This turn, that player can't play spells or activate abilities and plays with their hand revealed. You can play cards that player's hand this turn. Again, like Hoffrey, like at least I'm letting them get the things into play, right? Then I'm stealing them, and it's just creatures. This one's like, no. On my turn, you can do nothing, and your hand is my hand, and I'm playing your cards. They're mine. So yeah, not only are you like card disadvantaging someone, but you're also, again, taking their cards from them, utilizing them against them, and there's nothing they can do about it. So again, it is fun to be able to play with other players' cards. Like Villainous Wealth is one of my favorite cards of all time. I love that card. And being able to play it and then execute it, go like, oh yeah, I get a bunch of cards off the top of your library and they're mine now, in my opinion, is a little bit more friendly than being like, hey, yeah, just on my turn you can do nothing and your hand is mine, and ooh, that's a nice card. Ooh, that's a nice card. Taking them out of the hand versus off the top library, just card disadvantage. Yeah, it's pretty broken, pretty disgusting, pretty obnoxious, and pretty annoying. Moving on, though, one tribe in particular that can be a bit eye-rolly for some players out there are slivers. This is one where it is so much fun to play, but it is one where your opponents can just go, oh my gosh, not again, please. It's obnoxious. Anyways, a 5/5 sliver for 5 mana. Wooburg, the best color combination. Sliver Hive Lord. Sliver creatures you control have indestructible. Again, very simple. Slivers are always very straightforward for the most part. It's like, I do this, but everything does this for slivers. Cool, great, awesome, yay. Basically, every single one of your creatures is an anthem or a lord, basically, for slivers, and there you go. You get one out, it benefits all the others. You get another one out, benefits all the others. This one in particular says, hey, you know what? My team is indestructible. We are hard to deal with. Everything is hard to deal with. So already that can be a little bit annoying, but of course also just all slivers stacking all the things. You, as an opponent, having to pay attention to which slivers are in play, which, again, all of them benefit each other. So you're like, okay, +1/+1 from that, +2/+2 from that. Hexproof from that one. Actually, I don't know if that Hexproof, but yeah, anyways. Shroud, whatever it is. Indestructible from this, that from that, that from that. You have to keep track of all those things, and of course, also, it's just incredibly powerful as well. So yeah, overall, slivers, in my opinion, are one of those little eye-rolly kind of creature types when it comes to a tribe. I'd say that like Eldrazi can definitely live in there too. And dragons these days, just getting as much support as they're getting, and all just being big, beefy dragons and an Ur-Dragon deck, everyone's seen it. Some of those can be a bit eye-rolly, but I would say that like slivers are the ones that can be really fun to play again, but the most annoying to play against, potentially. This one might surprise players who don't know the trick of Kamahl Fist of Krosa, because Kamahl Fist of Krosa is, well, yeah, like a mana commander, I guess, in a way, like a stompy commander in a way, but also mass land destruction in a way, too. But kind of not really. It's kind of your own fault. Anyways, a 4/3 human druid, at least that's what I'm telling my opponents. For 6 mana in green, pay a single green mana, target land becomes a 1/1 creature until end of turn, it's still a land. By paying 5 mana in green, you basically overrun. Creatures you control get +2/+3, gain trample until end of turn. Here's the thing. Again, when you first look at this, if you're first playing Magic, you're like, okay, cool, I can turn my lands into creatures, and I can pump them, and I can swing and win. Great. Yes, absolutely you can do that. But also, this is some of the best board wipe protection in the world. Because essentially what you're doing is you say, okay, I've got my commander out. I'm in a, let's say, dominant position. I've got some good creatures in play. And an opponent's like, well, I'd like to slow things down a little bit, and I want to wipe the board, so I'm going to cast the Wrath of God. And you're like, okay, here's the thing. If you're going to do that, I'm going to turn your lands into creatures. What? Yeah, you're going to destroy your own lands. Well, that's mass land destruction. Well, technically, I didn't cast the spell. That's on you. So basically, you're destroying your own lands, so I recommend that you don't cast the board wipe. But I need to stop your team. No, you can't. Yeah, that's basically where you're at. You're like, okay, Heroic Intervention ain't got nothing on me because I am literally preventing people from casting board wipes because if you do, your lands are gone. And it's not my fault. And of course, Kamal Fist of Krosa, you can actually build into certain cards. Luckily, it's not in red. But you can build into certain cards, like I think there's one called like Time Bomb or something anyways. Like you can build into some really weird cards that actually can ping all creatures so you can actually take out opponents' lands on your own when you want to. That being said, even at a base level, just going, oh, yeah, don't cast a Wrath because I'm keeping mana open for a reason. I will destroy your lands. I mean, I'm not going to destroy them, but I'll turn the creatures, which then makes them destroyed. So yeah, it can be a commander that can be quite fun to hold the table hostage in that way, where like no one's allowed to cast a board wipe except for you, essentially. But it can also be quite annoying because, yeah, it is that gray area where, again, mass land destruction is incredibly frowned upon in Commander. In fact, it's basically not allowed in casual Commander, essentially. And this kind of is on the edge of that where it's like, I'm not the one destroying the lands. Okay, I'm not doing it. You cast the Wrath of God. I don't have access to white. I don't have Wrath of God, okay? I'm not even having that. You're the one who is actually casting the Wrath of God, and it's just me saying, well, you did this to yourself. I turned your creatures and lands, and that's your fault. Goodbye. This next one, though, changes your perspective on everything because, again, changing perspective is something that can be annoying to players in Commander because Commander players like to have certain expectations, right? Okay, like, I've got my game plan, I go about my game plan. Commanders that change the rules and say, your game plan's out the window now, can definitely be obnoxious to them, but I love Thanos the Warweaver. It's such a fun commander. A 5/5 Spider of Vigilance and Reach for 6 mana in Jund. All creatures attack each combat if able. Let me say that again. All creatures attack each combat if able. That is usually not a rule, right? Again, most players in Commander, most decks built in Commander aren't built to handle that. Most are like, okay, what I'm going to do, all right, is I'm going to get my things out, and I'm going to wait 8 turns and keep building up this massive, massive army, and eventually I'm going to win in one swing. That's the plan. And my commander is pretty much useless in combat, but it's built around the commander, but I don't want it to be, oh no, Thanos is out? Oh, okay, I guess I'll send my army that's not ready into the void, basically is what's going to be happening, essentially. You are forcing players out of their comfort zone. You are forcing them into bad situations. And, of course, if players are attacking you, whenever a creature attacks you or planeswalker you control, you get a counter on Thanos. So Thanos becomes massive. It's vigilant. It can block still. Yeah, you just keep swinging with this massive thing. It's quite fun to play with, but again, you are the one who's expecting this forced combat. You have ways to gain benefits from it. You have ways to maybe deter attacks from you and send them elsewhere potentially, or just benefit even further from them attacking you. That being said, your opponents will not have those things, and again, most decks aren't built to want to attack every single turn. Most decks are built to turtle up and just say, well, my commander's out doing my commander thing. Oh, you forced it to attack, but it's just a little 1/1 with nothing. Oh no! Yeah, it is essentially a way to, again, force people out of their comfort zone, and players might not like that. Okay, this one's a bit more straightforward than Hoffrey, I would say, but Menar, definitely a fun commander because the possibilities are endless, but an annoying commander because you're stealing things. You're just straight up stealing things. There's really no hiding it with this one. 4/5, a wizard for 7 mana, pay 3 mana in blue. Target opponent becomes an artifact, issues other types, pay 4 mana in blue, gain control of target artifact. Again, even to say base level to stealing people's artifacts is obnoxious. And of course, if you got something like Training Grounds in play, you really cut down on the amount of mana you have to spend on these abilities. Or just, pump in a ton of mana rocks because that's all you really need to do. If you just have a deck that's just Memnarch plus like all the mana rocks in the world, it's still going to be effective because you just steal your opponent's things, essentially, right? You can take anything on the board, basically. So yeah, this is a commander that can be quite obnoxious again because your opponents never feel safe with their things. It is one where, again, theft, again, can be fun because you're like, yeah, I like using my opponent's things against them. It's quite fun. But when you do it in the way where you're actually just, like, taking it, and again, permanently taking it and permanently taking anything, players can get rubbed the wrong way. Okay, I gotta really take things back in time because my very first episode on Nezahal, well, I love that episode. Don't judge me too much on my style back then. You might like my style better back then. Some people do, I think. But, like, I just feel like I was very dry back then and just, like, really not trying to be too nervous about it because, I was recording for the very first time. But still. Anyways, Nezahal Primal Tide is one that can actually, as a commander, again, typically not a commander, typically a card in the 99, but I love it as a commander. It can be so much fun to play. I love that deck. Against one of my longest standing decks of all time. it can definitely be one that rubs players the wrong way because they eventually learn that Nezahal is impossible to deal with. Literally impossible to take out once you're set up. A 7/7 Elder Dinosaur for a 7-mana in blue that has a lot of text, so here we go. Can't be countered. You have no maximum hand size. When our opponent casts a creature spell, draw a card, discard 3 cards, exile it, return to the battlefield, tap it, until control, begin next end step. Basically, hey, you know what? You're not stopping it when I'm casting it, alright? I get to keep all the cards I ever want to keep. I basically have Mystic Remora on steroids, essentially, as well. And by the way, hey, you know all those cards I'm getting and holding on to? I can utilize them to always save my commander again and again and again. So this is a value engine that is basically impossible for your opponents to ever deal with. Once you get Nezahal in play, it is incredibly rare that it's ever actually even going back to your command zone, hand, whatever it is. It's never dying. It's never going anywhere else. It's just you play it, it's there, and then you gain a ton of cards, and you've got other ways to gain cards too. And then all of a sudden, if someone does anything about it, you're like, hey, I can sacrifice 3 out of the 10 cards in my hand to just blink it away. And again, because it is a delayed blink effect, again, comes back at the end step, you can dodge board wipes with it too. So yeah, it is one where it's like, okay, this value engine you're never dealing with. You can never stop me from having it. It's a 3-shot KO commander. Yeah, again, Nezahal Voltron, so much fun. 3-shot KO commander, which again, I built in the deck so many ways for it to be evasive, so many ways for it to be a 2-shot KO, or even a 1-shot KO commander with double strike plus some pump effects as well. It is just something that, again, is just a lurking presence once it's out there of massive value gain, and your opponents can't take it out, and that could be obnoxious to them, but I love it. Check that episode out. And with that, this episode is come to a close. Make sure you comment below with your thoughts on it, and of course, as always, thanks again, and have a good one. This show and episodes like this one are possible thanks to viewers like you. If you're looking for an easy way to help support this show, make sure that you like, share, and subscribe. Also, hit that bell notification icon so you don't miss any new episodes. You can also go check out our playmats and other merchandise at thecommandersquarters.com. Another easy way to support this show is with our TCG player affiliate links. So whether you're buying a deck or individual cards, you can use this general link right here or one in the description. And the final way that you can support this show is by supporting us directly by becoming a patron. There are many benefits to being a patron, and I truly couldn't do this without all their support.